Today, I'm going to tell you the 8 best marketing strategies to generate more pressure washing leads for your business. Now, I want to say that these tips are in no particular order and that the leads created by them are not created equal. What I mean by this is we can't really compare the leads that you're going to get from, let's say, your Google business profile to the leads that you might get from Angie's List. They're just a different caliber of leads. So you have to be careful when we're talking about cost per lead because it's not comparable because, a cost per lead of, let's say, $60 on Google Ads is going to be more valuable than a cost per lead of $40 with Angie's List. But jumping right into tip number 1, I have a pretty controversial one, and I have a lot of current clients that use these companies and they swear by them, and that is Angie and Thumbtack. Now, before I get crucified in the comments, it's important to note that as a marketer, I inherently don't care for these companies, but I am always of the mindset of try a little bit of everything and double down on what works. But yes, for most companies, these leads tend to be kind of pricey. They tend to be shared with you and all of your competitors, and it can be an expensive trap. But again, I do know pressure washing business owners who use Angie's List and who use Thumbtack, and they get a great cost per lead, and because there's not a lot of their competitors that use these platforms, they actually generate a ton of business. Now, they are the select few people, and generally this would not be the number one tip that I would say, but I think that if you can try these platforms out without spending a lot of money and getting stuck in a contract, it doesn't hurt to at least try them out. And for tip number 2, we have good old Facebook. And I'm not talking about Facebook ads. For the sake of this tip, we're going to be talking about how to use Facebook organically. And here's the real deal, guys. Facebook is a free platform, and all of you guys want to target homeowners, and that demographic of people, they spend a large majority of their free time on Facebook. So not using this free platform and learning how to leverage it can cause you to miss out on tons of opportunity. The biggest problem is I see a lot of pressure washing businesses using Facebook incorrectly. So how do you use it the right way? You have to adopt these 2 ideologies. First, when it comes to the content you're posting, you want to change your mindset from creating content to documenting your day. And the second ideology is that you have to stop trying to sell your services and just start talking about your company and what it is that you do. The homeowners and the people that are going to be consuming your content on Facebook, they don't want to feel like they're being sold to. The homeowners and the people of Facebook that are going to consume your content, they don't really care about the before and after pictures of concrete cleaning and house washing. Although that's great content, they want to see what it's like behind the scenes of running a pressure washing business. So what do you do instead of just posting before and after pictures? Like I said just a moment ago, you need to change your mindset to start documenting your day. So these could be things like maybe you're going to the supply warehouse to refill your SH. Maybe you have to repair some equipment, grabbing lunch in the truck and just snapping a picture or a short video of that. Whatever the case may be, just changing your mindset to documenting, not just showing the glamorous before and after pictures. On top of this, a lot of you guys just aren't posting enough. And one of the biggest things that I hear when I see a pressure washing business who only posts a couple times a month is that they don't have time to post. The fact of the matter is that you really need to make time, because by making time and making this a priority and figuring out a good process, it can generate you a ton of leads. I mean, come on, how long does it actually take if you stop to get lunch or if you go to get supplies or repair your equipment to take a very quick photo or a 15-second short video and throw it up on Facebook? It can't take more than 30 to 60 seconds. And if you do this a couple of times a day, you're going to end up with tons of valuable content that you can post to your Facebook page. So stop worrying about just being able to get the before and after pictures, putting them in an app and editing them all to make a post that maybe gets seen by 5 people. Learn to start documenting your day and post that content. And for the third tip that I have, it is make sure that you have a pressure washing website. And no, it doesn't have to be a fancy 5-star pressure washing website like the ones that we develop. But you need to have a website nonetheless, even if it's one that you have to build yourself. Here are a few main reasons why you really need to have a pressure washing website. First, if homeowners go to Google and they find you in the Google Map Pack, let's say you start ranking because you start getting a lot of reviews, when they see you, they're going to want to land on a website where they can learn a little bit more about your business. So by not having a website attached to your Google business profile, you can lose out on a lot of opportunity there. Another big one that I see is, imagine if you have your truck wrapped or you have your company decals all over your equipment and your truck, and somebody's behind you in traffic and they don't have time to capture the phone number and they just get the name, if they go to Google you, they're going to need a place to be able to land. Not to mention, having a website allows for you to run Google ads, track users for future Facebook ads, and it really serves as the foundation of all your digital marketing efforts in the future. Side note, if you do plan on designing your own website or you have designed your own website, I'm going to link a video in the description where I talk about some of the key things you want to make sure that your website has in order to convert all of the traffic that lands there. For the fourth tip, I know it's nothing special, but it is important noting here, and that is getting word of mouth referrals. Now, how exactly do you get word of mouth referrals? It starts by providing a world-class customer service experience and by asking the homeowners. And by asking, what I mean is that if you feel as though you've delivered a high caliber of customer service for your customer, ask them to take a picture of you. Ask them to take a picture of your truck if if you don't want to be on camera, and just share the experience that they've had on Facebook. Because again, guys, all of your ideal customers are homeowners who are of the demographic that use Facebook religiously, and it can be worth a ton if that customer takes a picture of you, your business card, your truck, and just shares the experience that they had on Facebook. So that is one of the best ways to get word of mouth referrals pretty quickly. For tip number 5, we have SEO, and more specifically, we're going to be talking about the search engine optimization of your website, not the Google Map Pack or the Google My Business, which is an important distinction to make, because by focusing on the SEO for your website, the search engine results, that is the little section that appears directly under the Google Map Pack. Something to point out here, much like Google Ads and SEO and your Google Business Profile, any leads that you can procure that come from Google as a direct result of a search are always going to be of much higher value than almost any of the other tips that we're talking about. And the main reason for that is because it's intent-based marketing, right? So unlike a Facebook ad where you serve ads to people who are just trying to sit and relax and they're just scrolling through Facebook, looking at family photos and looking at funny cat videos, they went to Google because they needed your service and they made a search for that. And so anytime you can get a lead from either Google Ads, your Map Pack, or the search engine results with your website, it's always going to be a much higher quality of lead. So it's important to value those a little bit differently. But the reason that you either want to learn SEO or hire somebody to do your SEO is because 50% of your local Google search traffic goes there to find the answers. And so what I mean by that is if somebody types in pressure washing company near me, a degree of that traffic is going to land on the Google Ads, a degree of that's going to land on the Google Map Pack, but the majority of that traffic goes down to the search engine results. So showing up there is a huge benefit. If you're not sure where you rank, go to Google and type in something like pressure washing near me and see how many pages that you have to go through before you find your company. And then understand the importance if you show up number 1, because honestly, even if you're ranked number 6 and the search engine results for that specific search, it's really irrelevant because nobody ever really goes to page 2 when they're looking for a pressure washing company. Like I said, SEO is probably the most difficult way to get pressure washing leads, but it is by far the absolute best in my opinion, because just imagine if somebody types in pressure washing near me or power washing companies or house washing companies and you show up number 1 or number 2 in the search engine results, I can assure you that you will start getting more leads than you know what to do with. My suggestion for this is, while it is very difficult, if you don't have the money to hire a company like mine, in your spare time, get on YouTube and start searching and researching SEO strategies and start implementing some of those strategies into your own website. Yes, it's going to take a few months to start getting those results, but if you do it little by little, over time you're going to start ranking up and you're going to start getting a ton of pressure washing leads. As for tip number 6, we have PPC, and I'm talking about platforms like Google Ads or Facebook Ads. PPC just stands for pay per click advertising. Now this is kind of the opposite of SEO because with SEO, it's something that you do a little by little and you start to gain traction over time. With Google or Facebook Ads, you can turn those platforms on in a moment's notice and start getting leads the very same day. You literally don't have to wait hardly any time at all when you turn those campaigns on, assuming that you know exactly what you're doing when you start using those platforms. But as with anything in marketing, it does come with a cost. Yes, you can start getting leads today if you launched a Google ad campaign that you structured properly, but those leads can come at a decent cost. And so, for a tenured business, it kind of makes sense to run Google ads. But if you're just getting started, it can be really expensive. And the same is really true for Facebook ads. So I get asked all the time, how much money should you be spending on Google ads or Facebook ads every single day? And the answer is that it kind of varies. So for Facebook, it doesn't really matter where you live. A good budget is somewhere between $25 and $35 a day. Now for Google, it's a little bit different. While I do use that same $30 a day, it's going to vary market to market. And the reason that it varies is because in most markets, the average cost per click for pressure washing is somewhere between $4 to $5. But in bigger markets like Houston or Orlando, you can expect to pay upwards of $12, $13, $14 a cost per click. So if you're using that same $30 a day a budget, that might only get you 2 clicks, whereas somebody in a different market with that same budget could get closer to 6 or 7 clicks a day. So the important thing to note here is that if you're going to run your own Google ads, you need to understand what the average cost per click is for the words that you're going to be bidding for. Finally, for tip number 7, and if you know me, you may have already guessed this is by far my favorite tip, and it is learning how to leverage your Google business profile. So how exactly do you use your Google business profile to scale the amount of pressure washing leads that you get? Well, it starts by at least showing up there. And hopefully if you're watching this video, you already have a Google business profile and it's already set up, so you should be showing up in the map pack to some degree. But the better question is, how do you rank number 1, number 2, number 3? And really those are the only ranks that really matter, because much more than the third rank, you're not going to show up unless they click the little arrow and they start scrolling down, which you don't want. But the tip here is basically the more reviews that you get, the more 5-star reviews that you get, the higher you will rank up in that map pack. So really, in order to leverage your Google business profile, you just have to get more reviews. Now, in the link of the description of this video, I put out a video a couple of days ago where I talk about some of the best ways, or my number 1 strategy to getting more Google reviews that works without a hitch, that can get you upwards of 50 Google reviews in 30 to 45 days. I highly suggest that you go check it out. And to kind of portray to you how important this tip is, if I were to start a pressure washing business and I didn't have any money and I had no prior knowledge of marketing, this is without a doubt the number 1 thing that I would focus on. I would focus on getting more reviews and ranking up in that map pack, because doing that alone, showing up number 1 in your map pack, is one of the easiest things that you can do, and it's also the one that has one of the largest impacts right behind SEO. Really mastering this area of your business is more than enough to get you in the 6-figure a year club. And finally, for the last tip, we have bandit signs. Bandit signs are a great way to generate really inexpensive leads, but the key is you have to learn how to use them properly. First, it starts with the design. Keep it absolutely simple. You want the words pressure washing or power washing or house washing in very large text, and then directly under that, just your phone number. No logos, no bullet points, none of the other stuff. Because while you might be tempted to add some bullet points and maybe a website and maybe your logo, the reality is you're going to be putting these bandit signs in high traffic areas where people are stopped at a stoplight for maybe 15 seconds. And if you start putting all this clutter on your bandit sign, people can get lost in trying to read it, and then the next thing you know, the light turns green and they just drive on by. So by having it very clean, very simple, pressure washing phone number. If they need pressure washing or house washing or whatever you put on that sign, if they need that, they're just going to pick up their phone, punch in your number, and then call. It's really that simple. You don't want to add too much to your bandit signs. But that pretty much wraps up my 8 tips, and I promise you guys, if you start implementing some of this stuff, you will start getting a ton more business, and I really hope that this video helps you out. If you guys have any questions about any of the stuff that I talked about today, feel free to leave a comment down below, and I will be sure to respond to it. I'll catch you guys in the next video.